Good evening and welcome to our webinar to let you know about geology and environmental science here at Stoke-on-Trent Sixth Form College. What we're aiming to find out about in this webinar is what are these two subjects about, how they are similar, and also how they are different. So both of these subjects are classed as earth sciences. Now, what earth sciences means is about understanding the earth, understanding what the structure of the earth is, what the processes of the earth are that make it appear the way it is today, why we have mountains, why we have valleys, why we have glaciers, that sort of thing. Also about understanding climate change. As we know, we are in a climate catastrophe, for want of a better word, at the moment, and things need to be done about it. So in order to do things about climate change, we need to understand the climate. We need to know about our mineral, energy, and water resources, because everything that we use on this earth has to come from the earth. And earth scientists are key people for knowing where to find these resources, how to extract them sustainably. And it's also about biodiversity and conservation. Everybody's heard of the World Wildlife Fund. Everyone's heard of the IUCN Red List of endangered species. Earth sciences involves understanding how those organisms, how those ecosystems interact with the earth and how we can understand them, be able to preserve and conserve them. And ultimately, in order to be able to save the planet, we need to understand the planet. And saving the planet is a phrase that gets used a lot. And it's about making sure that the planet is suitable and habitable for humans to live on for generations to come. Now, we'll just focus on geology a little bit. What I'm going to do is tell you about the two subjects individually and then tell you about the similarities and differences. So geology is the study of earth science. It isn't just rocks and fossils, although they are very useful tools for understanding what the earth is made of and how the earth has changed. It's about understanding the structure of the earth, what the layers of the earth are, the crust, the mantle, the core, what their properties are, how we understand them. And then it's about understanding those processes that shape the earth, our earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics. It's about understanding the science behind those and what makes them happen. And it links to geography there, whereas geography tends to focus a little bit more on the risk management strategies. We need to understand our resources, water, minerals, metals, oil, gas, coal, everything we use, we need to know how to find them and extract them sustainably. And ultimately, it's understanding how our climate has changed in the past, how the earth has changed in the past, and how it will change in the future. That's geology. Now, a little bit about environmental science. This is more looking at the study of our planet and how we as a human race interact with it. We need to know about how our atmosphere and our hydrosphere work, atmosphere being all the gases, hydrosphere being our water cycle. We need to understand our water and mineral resources, where they come from, how to extract them sustainably. Sustainability is a key word in environmental science. It's about knowing how to make these resources last as long as possible. We also look at climate change and climate change processes, how humans affect those climate processes. And we also spend quite a bit of time looking at how humans and animals interact with the environment, how they interact with the water cycles, carbon, the nitrogen cycle, and those sorts of systems. And it's about understanding how that biodiversity, how those ecosystems might be threatened by human interactions and human impacts, and what our conservation efforts are in order to preserve them. And it's also about understanding our energy and food resources and how we manage them sustainably. So again, coming back to this idea of sustainability. Now, similarities between the course. Both geology and environmental science are about understanding the structure of the earth and what we use from it. It's looking at our mineral and water resources and their sustainability. It's climate change and how humans affect it. And both of these courses have got fieldwork and outdoor aspects to the course. In those, you develop a range of observation, data collection, data processing, and interpretation skills. A bit of statistics in there, a bit of maths and computer modeling. So lots of interesting stuff. Now, in terms of differences, geology, when we're thinking about climate change, looks at past climates and the controls on those, whereas environmental science looks at the current climate, how humans are influencing and modelling it for the future. In terms of mineral resources, geology is looking at the key processes that form them, how we find them. Environmental science looks at how we extract and use them sustainably. Same with water resources. Geology is looking at how they form, where we can find them. Environmental science, more about the impacts that humans have on the water cycle and climate and sustainability. And again, geology looking at energy resources, it's about the geological controls that form them, how they are there in the first place. And environmental science is more how we use them, how we influence our requirements, and the sustainability of them. Both geology and environmental science work very well with geography. You can see here we've got a Venn diagram which shows some of the topics that crop up in all of the subjects and some topics that crop up in 2 of the subjects. There is a lot of links. And if you were to pick geology, geography, and environmental science, it would be a very good combination of courses because the teaching on those courses links sort of across all 3 subjects, and the different styles of teaching, the different types of activities across the different subjects will really help you get a very in-depth explanation of how those subjects work. Finally, careers in earth sciences. It's one of those areas that there is a big shortage of geoscientists, geologists, earth scientists, environmental scientists. There's a whole range of careers that you can go into. And you can see a list of those, including some of the UK government's shortage occupation list. Loads and loads of really interesting, really exciting careers to go into. And particularly if you're interested in travel, exploring the world, finding out about how humans interact with our environment. The last slide is a number of links to give you reasons to study geology. What is geology about? What are earth sciences about? And these have been attached in the handouts that's attached to this presentation. So, my name's been Richard Campbell. Got to introduce myself at the start. Apologies for that. I am the main teacher for geology and environmental science. And I'll open it up now to see if anyone has got any questions that they want to put into the chat. Okay, so a couple of questions. One about exams. Both these subjects are examined at the end of 2 years. Environmental science is two lots of 3-hour exams, and geology is split into 3 exams, one of 2 at 2.25, one at 1.5 hours. And something else about field work, want to know where we go on field work. Environmental science, we are extremely lucky at the college to be right on the doorstep of Staffordshire University's Nature Reserve. The River Trent runs through it. It's got a nature reserve with lake and woodland, and it's got a couple of meadows that the university use for environmental science and geography fieldwork. And we can use those as well to go out and do all sorts of sampling of wildlife, organisms, trees, climatic conditions. We also look at going to Ainsdale sand dunes along with geography or biology to look at the succession of the ecosystems there. And for geology, we have a range of field trips. We go to Park Hall Country Park near Western Coiney. We go to Castleton and Mamtor in the Peak District. We go to Ecton Copper Mine, where we go a couple of 100 meters underground and study the copper mineralization there. And we also go to the Wren's Nest in Dudley, which has recently been awarded the status of a UNESCO Geopark. Fantastic fossils from when life was first evolving on the planet about 450 million years ago. Okay, so no more questions coming through there. Hope you found this webinar interesting and informative. Let you know a bit more about these two subjects, which you can't study anywhere else in the local area. And hopefully it will have inspired you to come to one of our open evenings later in the year, and hopefully we will be able to meet face to face and discuss the subject in a bit more detail. Thank you very much for your time.